So Michael Stark from PostYourProperty.com here at the Apartment Internet Marketing Convention here with Shabnam Mogharabi, and I'll let her explain what she does.
I'm the editor of Multifamily Executive Magazine and Apartment Finance Today magazine. They're publications published by Hanley, which is a large real estate and construction publishing and exhibitions company.
Yes, it
is. Out of
is.
DC?
Yes, it is. In fact, recently working with the Blog World Expo.
Yes.
Our friend Rick Calvert. So shout out to Rick. So anyway, tell us a little bit about what you're doing at the magazine and what some trends you're seeing.
Sure. We're doing a lot at the magazine right now, looking at frankly, the debt and equity markets. We're looking at the financing perspective of the apartment industry, the transactions, the capital stacks that are taking place, the capital markets, and the different trends that we're seeing there. We've got a lot of activity on the bridge and mezzanine financing side of the business that's finally coming out after a long kind of pause. In that side of the business, we're seeing some life insurance companies get back in the game. So even though Fannie and Freddie are still kind of the big backers of multifamily and apartment transactions, we're seeing some traction in other types of financing vehicles. So that's a kind of good, optimistic look in terms of where the capital markets are that we're pretty focused on right now with the magazine on the finance side of it. And in terms of the apartment marketing and property management side, I mean, it's really about technology right now. I think a lot of folks have had their budgets cut and are having some difficulties kind of deciding where to invest their time. They're not able to get some of the deals closed or new developments done that they were able to 3 or 4 years ago. So now they're looking internally, trying to spend in the right places at the right time. So they're trying to manage their expenses in a way that's effective. And I think that technology and marketing are the 2 areas that they're looking at. They're trying to beef up their systems, get ahead of the competition, and kind of differentiate themselves to lure the renters that are out there and looking for an apartment. So I think that's kind of where we're seeing.
Well, so this is a second quarter 2010 commercial real estate. There's a little bit of pain out there. How long is the pain going to remain?
I am not a forecaster. I do not make predictions. I will say, however, that most of the economists are saying that by late 2011, we should see some solid recovery. That 2010 is going to be that year of bumping along the bottom, and 2011 we'll start to see some recovery, and by 2012, you'll see kind of that demographic wave that a lot of the property managers are expecting in terms of Gen Y coming out of college and the job recovery market boosting up and unemployment decreasing, and then you'll see kind of a pickup in the apartment sector. And so putting in systems in place now for that recovery in 2012 is where most economists are predicting. Personally, I think we need to have more job growth before we see any of that happen.
Yes. Well, so besides those ideas, what do you think about? Is this a good time to buy if you're on the acquisition side?
I do think it's a good time to buy. You know, there's a lot of questions about when is that inflection point, when is that time that the market is perfectly peaked so that you're buying at the right time and selling at the right time, and it's always hard to try to time the market. But I do think that 2010 is going to be the bottom. So I do think that if you're going to buy, this is the year to do so. I do think that there's going to be some delinquencies and defaults that happen as a result of all the CMBS loans of 2006 and 2007, and you'll see values finally start to stabilize by the end of this year. So I think that you want to kind of catch that point at the right time in the cycle, and it'll be a little hard, I think, to gauge it perfectly. But the first quarter, Real Capital Analytics said that the first quarter was almost 50% of an improvement in terms of transactions over a year earlier. So we've seen some growth. It's been flat with the previous quarter in the fourth quarter of 2009, but it was 50% up from the first quarter of 2009. So there's definitely some movement on the transaction side, and I think that once values finally stabilize, you'll see some good buy opportunities in the market.
Well, so for our audience out there, if they want to follow your publication and your company, if you can kind of tell them about some of the websites and other magazines and stuff that they're up to?
Sure. The best place to get information for Multifamily Executive is multifamilyexecutive.com, and for Apartment Finance Today, it's housingfinance.com. And you can get all your information there. There's plenty of daily news stories and coverage of the industry, the markets, and the people who shape it.
Like yourself.
I'm on there occasionally.
Well, Shabnam, it is a privilege to have you in front of our audience here, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you very much.
All right.